أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد سيد المرسلين خاتم النبيين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. عباد الله، أوصيكم وإياي بتقوى الله وطاعته، وأحذركم وإياي عن عصيانه تعالى ومخالفة أمره. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم: من عمل صالحا فلنفسه ومن أساء فعليها وما ربك بظلام للعبيد. We begin, my dear brothers and sisters, as we always do, by sitting quietly, emptying our hearts and minds from everything that occupies it, of the worries and the concerns and the vicissitudes of life, of our daily lives, by emptying our hearts and minds from the thoughts and emotions that course through them, and feeling the presence of Allah more keenly. And in this state of submission, we then bear witness that there is no God but the one God, alone. No partner has He, the Almighty, the All-Powerful, Creator of the heavens and the earth and all that is between them, Light of the heavens and the earth, the All-Merciful, the All-Compassionate. And to complete this testimony by bearing witness that our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is Allah's beloved servant and messenger, whom He sent to be the last and final one of a series of messengers, beginning with the first man, Adam, and ending with Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. A series of messengers and prophets to teach us the truth about who we are, about where and how we originated, to teach us what our purpose in life is all about, and to help us to fulfill this purpose by living a life that is in accordance with what our Creator prefers and desires for us. We invoke Allah's blessings and expressions of peace upon the soul of this beloved Prophet Muhammad and upon all of his predecessors of the prophets and messengers. Ameen. Allah declares in His noble book that whoever of you, of us, does good, we have done it for our own benefit. And whoever of us commits a mistake or sins and wrongs, we have only sinned and wronged against our own selves. For your Lord is not unjust to His servants. Today, brothers and sisters, I would like to continue the series that we began about the experiential trajectory of our faith, and to emphasize and to help us feel that presence in our practice of our faith, as to make our practice a more experiential one, because it's only then that it is you might say even valid. Problems. So in the past few weeks, we discussed how to make sure that our shahada is real, is authentic, and how to enhance the quality of our salah. And part of the process of realizing this is to realize that shahada and salah are also actions that Allah Himself performs. In fact, referring to all of the actions of our pillars, the 5 pillars of our faith, the Quran informs us by quoting the Prophet Hud in Surah Hud, Surah 11 or 10, no, yeah, 11, verse 56, where he says, indeed, my Lord is on a straight path. رَبِّ عَلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. And in Surah Al-Hijr, Surah 15, verse 41, Allah says also, in response to Shaitan, when Shaitan says he will, try us and make us fall away from his path, Allah responds to him by saying, هَذَا صِرَاطٌ عَلَيَّ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. This is a path that is alayya, upon me, straight. So the interpretation of this is a bit challenging. You might say this is a path whose straightness is upon me, which gives us the idea that the straight path, Sirat Mustaqim, is part of God. Its straightness lies in God and lies on him or through him. But the point there is that when we supplicate to Allah, in a Sirat al-Mustaqim, to guide us on the straight path, we're in fact asking him to guide us on the path that he himself is on, whose straightness relies on God himself. Another related point to bear in mind in order to get a deeper understanding of our faith is to remember that Allah declares in Surah Al-Rum, Surah number 30, verse 30, that real or authentic religion is part of Allah's nature. The verse reads as follows: فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ حَنِيفًا فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِخَلْقِ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. This is a verse, brothers and sisters, which I invite you to read and meditate on. The translation is as follows: فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ. So face your face or direct your face. Aqim really means to stand, okay, to make straight or to make correct. So aqim wajhaka lid-din hanifa. Direct your face, direct yourself towards religion hanifa, purely. Fitrat Allah, the nature of God, or God's nature, allati fatara an-nasa alayha, upon which he forged or originated or created humanity or people, okay? The nature of God upon which he created humanity. لا تبديل لخلق الله. There is no changing God's creation. ذلك الدين القيم. That is right religion or authentic religion or valuable religion. ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. But most people do not know. So according to this verse, brothers and sisters, right religion, or din al-qayyim, is part of Allah's fitrah, part of Allah's nature. And this nature is what he created humankind according to. So right religion, as you may say, is part of God's nature and part of humanity's nature. Or it is natural to God and natural to humanity. This is an eternal and unchanging truth, which is why Allah adds that there is no changing or altering of God's creation, which means it is an eternal truth, unchanging truth. And that is true religion, but most people do not know. Now, this statement poses a challenge. If most people do not know, and this is something essential to practicing right religion, how do you know, or rather, how can you be sure that your religion is authentic and not counterfeit? How can you persuade yourselves that you have the truth, and that you are not part of the majority whom Allah asserts do not know this truth? Very simply, because most people do not know that right religion is something that Allah himself practices. Most people do not know that religion is based on God's nature. Most people do not know that being truly religious in a genuine way is actually being godlike or godly in some critical way. So you must start by knowing these facts. The next thing is that right religion, or din al-qayyim, has to be practiced from the deepest part of who you are. This means that your religion has to be practiced from the inside out, as I call it, rather than from the outside in. Most of us who are born into Muslim families begin the practice of our religion from the outside in, as something that is part of our culture, our environment, the environment in which we grow up. But if your religiosity emanates from your environment, from your cultural practice solely, then what happens if you stop identifying with your culture? You stand to lose your religion. It may fall away. If your religious practice is based on your familial identity, then when you leave your family or stop identifying with your family, again, you risk losing your religion or you finding it fall away. But when your religious practice is based on your personal relationship with God, then it is a faith well anchored, for God is always with you. God is with you before you were born. He is with you throughout your life, and you'll return to God when you die. So, if your religion is based upon your core relationship between your core, your soul, and God, it will never fall away. So that is how I define a religion that is practiced from the inside out, one that is anchored in the direct experience of God, originates from Him and flows from Him and flows from Allah's fitrah, Allah's nature, and His practice. So our shahada, our bearing witness that there is no God but God, originates from Allah's bearing witness that there is no God but God, and flows from Allah's own witness of Himself. The same applies to our salah. Our salah also originates from Allah's salah upon us and flows from it. And then it reflects it in a way. So we reflect or repeat and reflect and complement Allah's shahada of Himself and Allah's salah upon us. Last week, in discussing salah, we quoted the Quranic verse from Surah An-Nur, Surah 24, verse 41, where Allah asks, أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يُسَبِّحُ لَهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَالطَّيْرُ صَافَّاتٍ كُلٌّ قَدْ عَلِمَ صَلَاتَهُ وَتَسْبِيحَهُ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا يَفْعَلُونَ. Do you not see that whomsoever is in the heavens and the earth extol God, and even the birds with their wings outspread, flapping? Every one of these knows its salah and its tasbih, and God knows what they do. And 3 days ago, I think on the 20th of this month of September, I read an article in the New York Times about a bird called a godwit, Godwit, godwit. Interesting, it has the word God in it. It makes an annual migration around this time from Alaska to New Zealand, and thousands of them. Thousands of these birds make this journey, which is between 7,000 to 8,000 miles long. And get this, without stopping to eat, to drink, or to rest. A trip that takes them almost 10 days. In fact, they tagged a bird and it took them 237 hours of non-stop continuous flying, non-stop flapping of its wings to complete. Even the scientists studying this annual migratory pattern of this bird are in awe. It does this in order to have an eternal summer. So there's summer in Alaska, and then now as we're getting to fall and winter, they migrate all the way to New Zealand, and then in 6 months from now, they migrate back. As I read this article, I remembered this Quranic verse that I just got from Surah An-Nur, and indeed marveled at this bird's capacity to perform this feat, and how it knows exactly where to go and where to return to with remarkable, uncanny accuracy. And to do this without being taught. Who guides it? Who keeps it? Who directs it? ألم ترى أن الله يسبح له من في السماوات والأرض والطير صافات? Do you not see that whomsoever is in the heaven and the earth extol God? Even the birds with their wings outstretched. كل قد علم صلاته وتسبيحه. Every one of these knows its salah and its tasbih. والله يعلم بما يفعلون. And Allah is knowing about what they do. So see, brothers and sisters, and marvel at this wonderful bird that Allah directs in this annual migration. So again, we see, I'll stop at this point, around this point, but end around now. We are repeating this idea that the 5 pillars of Islam are not just something Allah gave to us. They are something that, as part of Allah's nature, His fitrah, they are part of Allah's actions, that Allah Himself performs the shahada and performs the salah. And therefore, when He invites us to perform these actions, they're not only actions of worship, they are actions of God Himself, actions that declare and glorify the reality and truth of God. May Allah direct us, brothers and sisters, to do this and to help us. And to help us shape our performance of our pillars, of our ritual worship, in a way that gets closer to Allah's worship. Now, certainly, our shahada is not identical to Allah's shahada of Himself, nor is our salah identical to Allah's salah. But since the same word is used to describe an action that Allah Himself performs, that has to mean that there is some common and fundamental similarity of meaning, and that our performance of the shahada and of salah are embedded in some way in Allah's performance of shahada and salah, and that they in some way are a human reflection of Allah's shahada and Allah's salah, and a human participation in Allah's shahada and Allah's salah. So pray to Allah, brothers and sisters, that He may purify and make more genuine and more authentic our acts of shahada and salah. قولوا قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم. Pray to Allah, brothers and sisters, that He may answer our supplications. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا كما أمر، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له المتعالي على المشاركة والمشاكلة لسائر البشر، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم عبده ورسوله النبي المعتبر. واعلموا أن الله تعالى صلى على نبيه قديما، فقال تعالى: ولم يزل قائلا عليما، وآمرا حكيما، تنبيها لكم وتعليما، وتشريفا لقدرنا به وتعظيما. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي، يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد، كما صليت وسلمت وباركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. وارض اللهم عن الأربعة الخلفاء السادة الحنفاء المميزين بعده بالرعاية والولاية والاصطفاء، ذوي القدر العلي والفخر الجلي، ساداتنا وموالينا وأئمتنا أبي بكر الصديق وعمر وعثمان وعلي. وارض عن السبطان السعيدين السيدين الشهيدين القمرين النيرين، سيد شباب أهل الجنة في الجنة وريحان نبي هذه الأمة، الإمام أبي محمد الحسن والإمام أبي عبد الله الحسين، وعن أمهما فاطمة الزهراء، وعن جدتهما خديجة الكبرى، وعن عائشة أم المؤمنين، وعن بقية أزواج رسول الله أجمعين، وعن التابعين وتابع التابعين وتابعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات، المؤمنين والمؤمنات، الأحياء منهم والأموات، إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات يا رب العالمين. اللهم وأيد الإسلام وأعلي وانصر كلمة الحق والإيمان. اللهم اجعل خير زماننا آخرة، وخير أعمالنا خواتيمها، وخير أيامنا يوم لقائك، وارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا، ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم أصلح أحوالنا وبلغنا مما يرضيك آمالنا، واختم بالصالحات أعمالنا، وبالسعادة آجالنا، وتوفنا وأنت راض عنا يا رب العالمين. أسأل الله العظيم رب العرش الكريم أن يغفر لي ولكم والمسلمين أجمعين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى، وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي، يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم، وأقم الصلاة